Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special episode for you. We've got the men who make the podcast run here with us. We've got Timon from the Ghostrunners podcast, and we have Derek from Correct Opinions podcast. Brad is on vacation, so one of the only episodes ever without Brad, and so it's going to be very fun. Timon's on camera. Derek's on camera. You got to get to YouTube. Brad's in Galveston, just watching cruise ships go by. I don't know what else you do in Galveston. But I just put something on your Instagram story and I said, look who we got today on the podcast. Ask them anything. It's only been about 5 minutes, but the results are in. Grace Keller said, that's what Derek looks like. Caitlin Ramirez says, that's Derek. And then Cole Ford, my personal favorite, said, Derek looks so much more normal than I would have thought.
Oh. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I think this tight beat means that it's going down with some random thoughts and white meat too. Midwest best friends eating fast food on repeat. So come along, let's have some fun and go ahead, get on your feet, cause it's the Ghostrunners podcast. Every Monday morning we're taking back Ghostrunners podcast.
So yeah, it's going to be a fun episode. I told Derek, I was like, dude, don't sweat it. It's going to be great. We have the nicest fans in the world. So thank you, Cole, for welcoming him by telling him how normal he looks. I think that's very nice.
Yeah.
I think that's what I said to Rachel when I first met her. It's like, whoa, you look better than I thought you would.
Did he expect more of like a Patriot look? Was I supposed to come in with...
Yeah. If you guys don't listen to Correct Opinions, there was a bit of an ongoing joke based on reality that Derek owns 35 weapons and shoots off fireworks every morning just to remember what the boys did for us. But it's been fun. We've been here in the studio just setting this all up for like 30 minutes. If like Derek couldn't help himself, just already been asking Timon just like homeschool questions.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
What'd you ask about? You're like, I was on your Instagram and is there like a quota of plays you have to be in?
Yeah, Timon's Instagram's popping. He's got some really good demo reels of the live action plays that they've done. One Nazi-based one. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. Derek hated that one.
But yeah, you're crushing it with the videos on that.
Thank you.
But is there a requirement for homeschoolers to do a certain amount of plays in 1 year?
Not for my family.
No, okay.
For me, I could be, I don't know about my friends, but I just do whatever they do. So that's kind of I don't know. I mean, I just love it so much. So I don't know.
Derek, you ever done any theater stuff? Performing art?
Yeah. My Spanish class that I had in high school, we did an Aztec themed. I remember doing this dance.
I didn't expect it to start with my Spanish class.
Yeah.
I took 2 years of Spanish, can't speak a word of it, but we had this play that I didn't invite any of my friends or my parents to because it was just too embarrassing. But I got a passing grade on it, so that's my theater production. Everything else behind the camera usually. So,
do you remember like what was your role in the Aztec?
Yeah, I was a dancer, and then I got to blow the conch horn.
Oh, like the shell or whatever.
Yeah,
the conch shell.
Yeah, the conch shell. Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. That's fun. Timon, you ever done any Aztec themes?
No. I will say I relate to the not wanting to invite people. I almost didn't invite anyone to my most recent one, but then it like came together and it was fine. And then Jake showed up and it was fun.
Like during rehearsals, you were like, maybe we shouldn't invite people.
I don't
to
want
this.
anyone to know that I'm in this.
That's what I tell people. Maybe you saw on my or Trey's story, but we were with the You Betcha guy this past weekend. Have you seen his videos? You know who he is?
Oh, yeah.
You know, he does like Midwest comedy stuff. And he was like, I've never really like aspired to do comedy, but everyone tells me I should. Maybe I will check it out. And I told him, I was like, don't have anyone come to the first 20. You know, just like, it's like a rehearsal. Or I always say like, I don't want people to come to my practices, like come to my games. Like come to the one game when it's over.
Yeah.
Do not come to watch me practice. But anyway, it's funny you've been in a play, Derek.
What about you? Did you do any?
Yes, I think I needed a fine arts credit. So I did one in high school and one in college, but didn't have any kind of crazy role or anything. It was fine. I would like show up.
Was your high school one a little more risky than the Southern Baptist University one? Southwest Baptist?
Yeah, when I look back at Stratford, it was a public school, but with very like Christian values.
Same, yeah.
Yeah.
We went to the same high school, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, Derek, you should let everyone know a little bit. I assume you've probably lived in one spot? You've probably had one religion your whole life? Why don't you tell everyone a little about your story a little bit?
born in Oregon, lived in California, then moved to the Ozarks. There's a chance that Jake and I played basketball against each other in high school.
Yeah, and is it
Because we used to play in the Stratford tournament. We did win it my
Yep.
senior year.
which I think I was like
High school sports.
high school sports. Isn't there like a dance that we thought we might have been at the same time, or so? I mean, Derek and I have been working together for like 4 years now, so there've been random mutual friends we have, or girls we have on our phone, or whatever.
When I did apply to work with you and Trey, I did name drop a best friend or one of your good friends that I knew from my days in high school in Willow Springs.
Yeah.
That you were on American Idol with. Almost.
Yes. Yeah. That's kind of random because I didn't really know Brandon that well.
Yeah.
But
I knew Casey Cornelius like through.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, who was like my best friend in high school. He was Purple Grapes. We did a ton of stuff together. But sorry, anyway. So Oregon, California, did in the Ozarks. When are you in the Ozarks? What ages?
Third grade through high school. I did move to 2 different schools in the Ozarks. And
Could you translate that to actual ages for me?
No, just kidding. I was raised. I haven't told people this actually, so I'll tell people.
Okay, well, don't say anything you don't want to say
you're good.
publicly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was raised LDS. I
Yep.
know you guys have a lot of listeners who are LDS, and I still have family members that are LDS, but that was wild growing up LDS in Southern Missouri, very Baptist community. But
Derek's our guy. I feel like with correct opinions, or even just like when we used to shoot a lot of Gene Shore stuff or whatever. Derek's like, if you want to make the Mormons laugh, you could say this, and then we just like, all right, I trust you. Not even gonna look it up, but I'm sure Derek knows. Or you're like, I feel like you're always in the know with like, there's some Mormon drama going on right now.
So growing up LDS, like if there's a famous guy who's LDS, that's like a big deal. You're like, oh, do you know the guy from Fast and Furious? He was raised LDS. Actually. So Timon, do you have that with homeschool? Like, oh, this person that is succeeding in life, they were homeschooled.
One thing
That's a great question.
Like Billie Eilish, the artist, I think that's one thing that I'm like, oh, she was homeschooled. And
Like, she's like the
what she can
pinnacle.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though. I
Mom,
can't-
let me make music in my
sure.
bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Trying to
could do
think of
this.
anyone else. I don't know.
Wasn't there? Who's the politician who's LDS?
Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's up there. Who's kind of the other guys up top? Top Morms.
Mitt Romney's a big one. The CEO of Delta was the Delta Airlines, Marriott.
Okay. A lot of business.
Yeah, very business minded culture. So
Any
most of
like
your-
BYU athlete, Puka Nakua
Yeah,
ish. He went to the school.
most of your door-to-door salesmen were former missionaries, LDS missionaries.
Oh,
'cause
they got
they're-
used to the lifestyle.
They're used to door knocking and possible rejection and being able to brush that off.
That's
So,
good.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah. Bethany Hamilton, she LDS? Am I making that up?
From
She's
Ava?
Soul Surfer. Wait.
Oh,
You thought it was a girl from high school? I'm trying to think. No. Isn't that her name? Soul Surfer?
Yeah. I
Maybe
don't
she's
know if
not.
she
I
is.
don't know.
so my inspiration to get into video production was from an LDS guy, Devin Supertramp. Do you remember him back in the
Oh,
day?
yeah. You know what I'm
remember
talking
watching
about?
him.
So
Yeah.
you still remember? So I didn't know if that'd be a generational thing because he's kind of
I feel like as I
Not
was
as
getting into him,
viral.
I was like more watching his old stuff. He was kind of
Yeah.
dying out maybe,
Yeah.
or like in popularity. But I loved his videos.
When I was
Yeah.
getting videography, he was like at the tail end of his like career, I feel like. And I wanted a glide cam.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I had the Devin Supertramp signature series glide cam. Yeah.
for those listening, Timon, explain to them what a glide cam is and why no one needs one anymore.
I mean, what is it? Just like kind of, I don't know exactly. I've never actually had one, but it's just like how it's like weighted.
Yeah.
It kind of stabilizes a camera.
It's kind of like a
just with
gyroscope
balance.
based off of weight and not like the motors that we have on
Yeah.
our gimbals now.
Yeah, now everything it's basically to get smooth camera movement and tracking, and
Yeah.
now there's like motors and they're really nice. But it used to just be like physics and like counterweight.
Yeah.
And this guy was a wizard at it, and so I was like, yeah, I make no money with youth ministry, but I need to spend all of it on a glide cam. So that was fun. If you're watching YouTube, you're probably wondering, hey, who's clicking those cameras around? How's that working? Well, I actually, everyone, if you're watching, I want you to guess who'd we bring in? Who's really qualified? Did you guess Rachel? No, not qualified enough.
No.
Oh, you guessed one of Brad's sisters? Wow, that's a wild guess, Janelle Vignell. No, correct answer was Timon's friend Oliver. So thanks for coming by, Oliver. He was the only guy.
Glad to be here.
I thought, I was like, one, he's super capable of using his hands and pressing 3 different buttons. That's how it works. Yeah. And 2, I thought maybe this would help my chances of getting Oliver to live in my Olathe house. Is that still a possibility?
We're considering
Get out.
it. Well,
It's not. Dang it. I could tell.
Oliver, were you in the plays with Timon?
I was, yes.
Were you in the NAZI play? Because he's a blonde hair, blue-eyed, beautiful man. I mean,
Yeah,
what
you're
character
kind
did you
of
play?
cream of the crop.
I was not in that one, unfortunately.
Okay.
They missed out.
on
We
casting.
weren't old enough. We weren't old enough to be in it. I was
Yeah,
old
we
enough
weren't
to
old
film
enough.
the trailer, but I didn't meet the age qualification to be in the actual show.
It is very funny because like that was the show everyone wanted to be in.
Yeah.
Like it was very good. And it was like there was kind of a hierarchy. Like everyone aspired to be those
In the Nazi
specific
show.
performers. Yeah, the Nazi
Really?
show.
I don't know if this is interesting or not, but that female actor, very good. I was watching the lines that in the promo.
For that movie?
Yeah. Worth watching sometime. Everyone go check
Yeah, check it out.
But, like,
Was it on my Instagram?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, check it out. It's somewhere down there.
She grew up to be Sydney Sweeney.
Okay.
That's who it is. Homeschooled.
Yeah.
We don't talk about her as much. She's changed a bit. But, no, Oliver, thanks for helping us out today.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate it. Anyway, so yeah, Derek, you grow up in Willow Springs, Missouri. You know, we got a few mutual friends there. Oh, I know what it was. We realized we probably played sand volleyball together behind the Missouri.
There's a 100% chance because I was there like every night, and we matched up the dates of when I
Yep.
was there, when you were there.
We've definitely played sand volleyball together, like one summer. But then, what do you do after high school?
I go to college. I play football in Virginia for a couple of years.
Yep.
D3.
Hey, more than me and Timon played.
And then I transferred back to Missouri State. I studied digital film production, and that's when like people weren't making money off of YouTube. So it was either like you go to LA or you film weddings. And I chose to film weddings.
Yeah.
So, Timon, I do have a gripe about you because like you're young, getting in the profession.
Yeah.
Stuff's very good, but like they're the purists with comedy that think you need to go to the comedy studios for 10 years and just like
Grind open mic nights. Yeah.
and totally fail. Whereas like you
Yeah.
and Trey, you guys had an audience, were able to jump right in and get.
Yeah, kind of fast pass our way
Yeah.
into comedy.
And I feel like you kind of had that with video. Like my first projects weren't doing these fun podcasts. It was filming weddings where the bride walked down to Nickelback. So
Is that real?
yes, my first wedding I ever filmed. I'm struggling. Like memory cards are getting full because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden I hear Nickelback come over the PA system or whatever, and she starts walking down the aisle. And so I was kind of trying to. You guys know a lot of
Oh,
Nickelback
so wait,
songs?
you didn't put Nickelback in post.
No,
They
sorry.
chose to have
Yeah,
it.
she in real time was walking down the aisle to Nickelback.
And you're sitting there filming it.
Yeah.
Just probably nervous out of your mind.
I'm
So, like,
shaking because like 2 cards already filled up, and like, I don't know what I'm doing.
what camera would that have been on back
That
then?
was the Canon T3i.
Oh. Do you ever even have a Rebel series?
My first real camera was a Canon T2i.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
So-
Oh, wow. He's earned his
Maybe
stripes.
maybe I didn't just like.
You didn't bypass.
Yeah.
Wow. That's way older
haven't
than
always
anything I ever
known
had.
Autofocus. I'm manual focus and stuff.
Yeah, manual focusing on a nifty 50 where like you move it a centimeter, all of a sudden your focus goes 10 feet the other way.
Yep.
How did you get that wedding gig, and like who is this woman who
It was a
walked
friend
down
of
to
a friend,
Okay.
and I think I made like $150 on it.
Yeah.
And like I was like, I'm making it now. I could able to buy a memory card from this. So
How much have you done a wedding yet, Timon?
I've only done one wedding, and I did it for free.
Yeah.
But it's on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. So yeah.
I bet it was pretty good.
did they walk out to Nickelback?
No, I wished.
Hinder. My first wedding, I think I did it for $400.
Okay.
And I was just like, just anything to get it out there. Sure, I can post to Facebook and let people know I film weddings now. Because
Yeah.
then I knew more would come. It's like, you just got to get that first one. Just got to get somebody to trust you. Which in hindsight, it's crazy thinking that someone would like pay a wedding videographer $150. Like either have someone do it or not. I feel like that's
Yeah.
I guess that's a good way of getting a cheap wedding video though.
Yeah.
And they got you. So you go to film school. And I'm sure the things you learn at film school, I mean, that translates immediately to social media filming, right?
Yeah, everything we learned, they taught us about jump cuts and like early, like grabbing the audience in the first 3
I'm
seconds.
sure everything
No,
was vertical.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
shoot with the camera sideways.
like it was more like media theory stuff that I did learn at Missouri State, but it was still 2 years obsolete. None of it mattered anymore. You should really go to school. Like, I don't know why you're not in university.
Go spin.
Going into college debt for what you can learn doing this.
Yeah, because there's nothing on YouTube.
Yeah. That information's not out there for free.
Yeah.
Dude, that's when it's just always a bit of a red flag. Not saying it's always a bad sign, but when someone like is doing a course on like something that's like already out there, it's always a little bit of like, do you think people will pay for this? And there's so many videography courses or editing courses or how to grow on Instagram courses, and everyone's so willing to give that away for free.
I was looking for an intern for a while, and so I had a bunch of people send me their demo reels, and the ones that went to 4 years of school, those were ones where like, well, you need to call your professors and ask for a refund because it's so sad that this is your top of the top word. So
That's pretty funny.
That's great.
The idea of like, actually, hey, Professor Wilkins, I applied for a job and he said I needed to call you and ask for a refund. Can you help me out? I don't know. He's been doing it for a while. Okay, so you go to film school. Where do you do that at?
Missouri State. So
it was
sorry. Digital film production. So I thought it was going to be more like, hey, we're going to film everything. It was more like a very liberal professor telling you why the media is corrupt. Like that's what it turned into. But
So it wasn't much
fun, huh?
production, hands-on stuff.
not really. I mean, they tried to like make it up as they go, but you could tell, like, 'cause you studied sports marketing.
Yeah.
And like you kind of said they were kind of making it up as
Yeah, it didn't exist.
That's what they were doing with digital film production when I was at Missouri State.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's funny. And so then what do you do? What's your first job out of college?
Yeah, I was like, I love video. It's my passion. So then I got a software job with document management, just nothing to do with video at all. And I was like, I need a real job because the $150 wedding videos isn't gonna propel me into this. And then I realized I don't like that. Came up to Kansas City. I was doing a few like freelance stuff, and then Trey posted, "Hey, looking for a podcast producer." I was like, "Oh, that'd be kind of fun."
Yeah.
Like I can fake it till you make it on that.
So I was thinking about it. I took a shower this morning, and for whatever reason, it popped in my head. I was like, I should try and see if I have the notes that I took during Derek's interview. Yes. And I was able to find them. The notes from all the people we interviewed. October 7th, 2020, we had probably 50 people apply. We narrowed it down to like 7 people that we did different like Zoom or in-person interviews with. And so here is what I wrote down for Derek 4 years ago. Wife and kid, comma, 30 years old.
1 kid at the time. Okay. I have 3 kids now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks.
This is funny that I wrote this down, but I'm sure it was true. Had to look at his notes to know what he does for a living.
Yes.
I kind of remember that. They're like, so what do you do? Like, what are you doing now? I remember you like having to look down. Like, so right now I'm doing some like freelance videography, and it wasn't a red flag. It was just kind of funny. It was like,
That's great.
I think that's a psychology thing. I'm looking down to the left to activate that part of my brain.
yes, that you're telling the truth.
Yeah.
And then I wrote down played college football,
Okay.
started his own video production company. Next bullet
Basically
point.
freelance. That was kind of hyping up a little bit.
Yeah, that was kind of a resume.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I put very qualified.
Oh, nice.
Good job. Typically works on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
That's why we. Okay.
Maybe that meant like you work, like you're doing freelance stuff on Tuesdays and
I
Thursdays.
had another client on retainer that was Tuesday and Thursday. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like you're
Free then.
like some weird version of a Seventh-day Adventist. Like I don't work 5 days a week. I have 5 Sabbaths. I can only help on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then I put all this seems like great things, and then I put might be worth a coffee interview. So I guess
Might be, okay.
yeah, it might be worth a second interview, but.
Wow.
Anyway.
Do you remember the quality of the Skype interview? Because I kind of went all out on that.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Yeah, Derek had like rigged up, I mean, like a camera to do.
I had multiple cameras and a switch going.
No way.
Yeah, I had like a
That's
side
great.
profile and a front profile. I brought in some lighting, being like,
That's
guys,
awesome.
look at this.
I do remember that.
That sounds
Actually,
something I would do. I would do that for sure.
Over the top.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the first people we interviewed, so we were like, okay, that was solid. And then as we interviewed other people, it was like, oh, okay, Derek like stands out a lot more.
You had, I don't know if it was you or Trey, had a really good question during the interview. It was, if one of us farted, what would you do?
Like on the podcast.
Yeah, if one of us Foded. Homeschool. Do you remember my answer at all on that one?
No, I
Do you remember
don't.
any answers on that? Because I thought that was a great question. It caught me off guard a little bit, but I had to think in the moment of like.
I don't know if we even asked that to other people. I might have just been like, "Hey, we're having a good
I gave a
vibe
perfect
here."
answer.
Yeah. What was your answer?
It was, I need to protect the brand, and you guys have a certain appeal, so I have to admit
Take the
fault.
blame.
Yeah, that was a producer back here.
Hey guys,
These
sorry.
guys are clean.
These guys are great guys. They're
They
so
wouldn't let that
clean.
happen.
They're professionals. So I was all about protecting the brand.
That is a really funny answer. Maybe this is what got you the job.
That's great.
But yeah, I remember it was between you and one other guy, and I don't remember what it is that I think maybe he couldn't start until later, and so we're like, all right, let's go with Derek. I don't know if I've ever publicly talked about this, but one of the other people that made it to the interview, because I think Trey kind of like did the first like pass and like, all right, I'm going to interview these 7 people if you want to hop on and help do these interviews. And so one of the people that he passed on to the like final 7 was a girl I had like somewhat recently been on a date with. Yes. And I think I told Troy afterwards. I'm sure I told Brad. But yeah, it was like obviously not going to bring that up. Maybe I did on the podcast 4 years ago or something. But something I know I definitely did say on the podcast, because I used to never talk about this just because I don't know, didn't want to come off a certain way or anything. But I took this girl on a date. It was like 2 days after I'd gotten my Tesla. So I'm very unfamiliar with it, but this girl has agreed to go on a date. And so I pick her up. I go to pick her up from her apartment complex. And she was like, just like wait in the parking lot and I'll come find you. Like that's easier. And it's a crazy busy, it's like really big, and it's tough for her to find me, and it's nighttime. And so she was like, just put your flashers on and I'll find you. Well, I'm in this spaceship car, just full of technology. I don't know how to do hardly anything in this car yet. I did like no research beforehand. I bought the cheapest one. I was like, it just sounds fun. And so I can't figure out where the hazards are. I'm going through the menu. There's no buttons. I can't figure it out. And so for, I don't know, 5 minutes until she goes down, I am hitting the brake while flashing my brights. I am doing my own hazards, just waiting for her to like come down. It was so embarrassing. It was like, I remember telling Brad that. He was like, you have to tell the podcast. I was like, no, I don't want to make people think I'm bragging about my car or anything. But cat's out of the bag. But yeah, I just did manual flashers manual hazards for 5 minutes until she came down. And then, a few months later, I was looking at her on a Zoom call like, hey, remind me your name again. And what do you do? And she did not get the job. But anyway, that's fun. And now, it's been almost 4 years doing.
That's crazy, 4 years.
Yeah, I know that is a little longer than I thought it's been. Because it's been a few different brands along the way. Because at one point we had 2 podcasts going. There was Do Less, God Bless.
Kind of 2.5.
Do Less Guess. We had a Patreon podcast. Then Correct Opinions. And then you were filming for Jean Shorts and editing for Jean Shorts at one point. You were filming and editing for Girls Gone Mild at one point. And now doing Mood Swings. And then what else do you have going on?
I have a couple other clients on retainer that like more corporate stuff. And I do a lot of like sports videos.
Yeah.
Cool. More of like a hobby thing, trying to relive the D3 glory days of seeing in that. That's most of my time. Are those?
That's fun.
Cool.
Yeah. Interrupting this episode briefly to talk about Bobob. That's right. Our new favorite acronym, Big Ol' Bag O' Beans. I honestly forgot that we had said that, and someone posted in the Facebook group is like, hey, looking to buy a Bobob for my husband who's got a promo code. I'm thinking, what old episode of this? I don't remember getting a sponsorship from some company called Bobob. Oh, yeah. It's Big Ol' Bag of Beans from MajorRoasters.com, obviously. So whether it's a Bobob, whether it's a Sobob, small little bag of beans, whether it's a Mobob, Timon, medium old bag of beans, whether it's a Sabobob, Timon.
Somewhat big.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, somewhat bag of beans. Whatever kind of Obob you need, MajorRoasters.com can provide it for you. So check them out. If you're a new listener, they are a family-owned, family-oriented local coffee shop in Napanee, Indiana. Which Indiana? That sounds nice. But they've been so loyal to us and supportive of us, and they make the best coffee. They can even private label coffee for you if you want to like have like a special gift or a special like party or even just like your business. Like they can make it seem like it's your business's coffee. You can get it from Main Street Roasters. That's just how nice they are. So best part, don't have to pay full price. You pay 90% of what would be 100% of full price, which comes out to
10%?
10% off. Yeah, he graduated. If you use the promo code GRKC on your Bobs, you can get 10% off. So check them out. They have a whole array of stuff, not just coffee. They've got merch. They've got mugs. They got everything. So MainStreetRoasters.com. Check them out. Back to the episode. Let's get to some questions. First one I see right now from Kaylin Nelson. What does Timon want to do for a career now that he's graduated? Well, hey, history update.
Still not done.
All right, not graduated. Hasn't finished history. Oliver, you finished your history?
I did. Yes.
Right.
Sorry, Timon.
Are you guys the same age? Are you done?
I have all my credits, but I haven't graduated yet. So
Yeah, he's a little younger than
I'm younger
than
though.
me.
Yeah.
You're a year younger.
I'm 17.
But you have more credits than Timon does.
I guess so. If you put it
Technically,
like
I
that,
think,
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you would have been a great Nazi. Oh, we should have had you. So smart. So what does it mean how do you know when you've graduated? Homeschool. Is that a dumb question? Like, it sounds like you're done, but you're saying you're not graduated.
I mean, I don't even know how the diploma works really, but
That is a good question. Like, how do you? I think for me it was just like
You have to like shake your mom's hand and she says it is finished or something. It's
just like besides history, I guess, just finished my school pretty much.
there's like state requirements for homeschool. So
Yeah.
you have to get
Just
a certain
like-
amount of credits, and then graduation I think is
Okay.
a little more loose.
Yeah, it was just basically just like hitting that quota. It's like first the theater shows amount, then how much school you got. Yeah.
That makes sense that the state does require some things. It's
Yeah.
not completely just like off the grid. Just like,
Oh, yeah, I know.
you've done it, boy. Go on and see the real world.
What type of homeschooler were you? Like, did you ever see the Mean Girls and like how they describe the different?
I haven't seen
Types-
Mean Girls, so I guess that
I mean, that's a
Gives
top
you
5
some
movie.
info.
Of
Aren't they making a new one? Did they make a new
They
one?
should.
they made some new one that
Yeah, they did.
I heard isn't good.
yeah,
But-
the original's just too perfect. But do you remember the intro where they talked about the different styles of homeschooling? They have the
In Mean Girls?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
I don't
she-
actually.
'cause she
She's from
was-
Africa, right?
So it's like the brainiac, the one that does the spelling bee, the one that thinks dinosaurs were killed by the AR or something like that. But, like,
I don't
That's-
know. I think I was just a very like typical, like fairly sheltered, but just like Christian homeschool.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, and I think probably homeschooling made me like reading a bit more. Like I was a huge reader.
Yeah,
like
that's good.
loved. Yeah,
That's
I
great,
loved to
especially
read
for
when I was
getting into storytelling.
younger. Yeah, but then, so I don't know. I guess, but I feel like a pretty normal person. But yeah, I think. Trying to think of what I'm trying to say.
That's great. Derek, you just sent over a link to some of
Yeah.
this. Is this what Timon's missing out
yeah,
on?
Timon. I don't know what your graduation was like, but I do think you're missing out on some amazing content that comes out of public schools. So I don't know how do we play that?
Oh, is there a
We'll
way
just put it in post, but you can just
Okay.
watch it for now and
You wanna pull it up and-
react to it.
Yeah. Let me.
Roads, rivers, and roads.
Ready to embark.
Wait. Elena, did you actually write this?
My friend made a few edits for me.
Your friend ChatGPT?
Hey,
Well, apparently you'll be less nervous if you imagine everyone naked.
oh no, that's just disturbing. No offense, guys.
Okay. We have the same name. Just kidding! For years, people have always thought of us as a duo. Teachers, classmates, baristas. High school was no different. No,
You were there leading us to the right answer during that one multiple choice test. The answer was C, by the way.
you were there.
Are you upset you weren't socialized like these people? I mean, like
I wish I delivered normal sentences like this.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's interesting. So the caption is like POV, the average high school graduation these days, and I feel like that is a bit of like there's like miniature TikToks in there. I feel like they're like doing different like TikTok bits. Like maybe this will work on stage in front of thousands. Yeah, I was calling a guy the other day. I needed help trying to fix a generator, and this guy who I called, I thought he was like in the middle of, it sounded like he was at a t-ball game or something. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, go see your nephew or whatever it is. And he was like, no, I'm at a high school graduation. I would love to talk about generators right now. He's like, get me out of there. And so, yeah, you have that to look forward to.
Yeah.
Homeschool version.
Excited. Can't wait.
Anyway, Timon.
Yeah.
What do you want to do for a career now that you're graduated?
I want to do video stuff, videography stuff, I think. I think the dream might be sort of like a cinematographer for like maybe commercials and movies and stuff. Just like in control of the lighting and like the camera side. I feel like I'm not as much of a director. I'm
Like
not
a,
sure.
what do they call it? Like director of photography?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a DP. That would be
yeah.
fun. Yeah, that's probably like the ideal thing. But I also love editing, so I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I'll always do some of everything, I think. Because like
I think as long as you stay in production, you'll probably do a little bit of all of it. And
yeah, because I'm learning kind of a lot of stuff at once right now. So we'll see where it ends up kind of zoning in.
Is there one place or like event that you'd really love to film? Like, is there? Because I had a bucket list one of like, this is the location I want to film at. But
Yeah, not really.
Really?
Yeah, not yet. Anyway, I don't have like a list.
I grew up unironically loving The Notebook. I thought that was just a great movie.
It's a great movie.
And like cinematography is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was so pumped to like maybe someday get to film in Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
And then one of my clients, they were an earring company, and I got to do a shoot out with them in South Carolina at this old historic site.
Wow.
The footage was amazing. Got back and started editing it, and then like that's the week that Ryan Reynolds got semi-canceled for having a wedding at a plantation.
Okay.
And everything we filmed was at a plantation. So then the brand's like, hey, we can't put this out. Apparently people don't like the history.
They're not going to respond
Yeah.
well to this.
So my like bucket list of like, I was so pumped to film in South Carolina, grab all that footage.
Wow.
It all got trashed.
Dang.
So.
I feel like when I came up into videography, this is like 2015, 16, Sam Colder, all that stuff. I feel like everyone was going to Iceland. And so
Yes.
for forever, that was like my dream
Yeah.
spot. Like, I got to film the black sand beaches in Iceland.
There was a direct flight for a while from Kansas City
Yes.
to Iceland.
Some airline that's out of business now. It's like $400. This is crazy. Well, yeah, it was crazy. They're bankrupt.
That's funny.
What was it called? It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's still there. So I guess we could always go. It's not as, honestly, it might be better to go now because it's not as trendy to go there. But yeah, Iceland would be
That'd be sick.
really cool.
Yeah.
Next thing, give Timon my greetings. He'll know. Any guesses
this-
who that's from?
Is this my cousin Andrew?
No, it is Jesse.
Jesse Plattner. Yeah. makes
Yep.
sense.
Hannah Ray said, no question, but I gasped when I saw Derek.
Are these backhand?
I don't know.
I don't even know if that's a backhanded compliment. I just think that's me.
It could be just like, this guy.
I did have people at the show say it feels like it's illegal that I could see your face. So
Yeah, there's really not many people asking questions. They're just like, Derek face reveals so nonchalantly. I didn't know what Derek looked like, so thanks. It's all just about your face.
Wow.
Timon and Derek, what is your favorite sport to play?
Ooh. For me, pickleball.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Pickleball
just,
phase right now.
it's just not that hard to play like okay. So it's so much fun.
Yeah.
I've played like almost every day for like a couple weeks.
Oh, you're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Did I love football and basketball back in high school and college? You can't play that when you're older, though. Like,
It's
basketball kind of,
way
but, like,
harder to find.
so I've been playing my second child. She just turned 3. We got her a pedal bike, so I've been playing running down the road with her.
I saw that on your story. She doesn't steer, she just leans.
She has no steering capability. It's just,
That's great.
and she falls over every time. But
That's
She's getting
funny.
ready. I mean, isn't that how they turn on like high speed, like motorcycle? And like they're like careening around the corners or whatever that word is. And
That's funny.
that's how they do it. How do your parents feel about what you do?
Me?
Fun question from to either of you guys.
You go first.
they were very supportive. My mom kind of always pushed me to do something creative.
Oh, awesome.
And so I think she bought me my first video camera back in college. It was this like 720p action camera that I took snowboarding a few times. It wasn't like a GoPro. It was like a Kind of like how a Zoom was to the iPod. It was like that to the GoPro.
Dude, do you remember there was an era, it was probably the same era, they used to call these cameras, they would call them flip cameras.
That's what I had, was a flip. Yep.
But they didn't flip. It was just like
The USB like flipped out to plug into your
it wasn't like a cell phone.
Yeah.
It was just like, why is it called flip? It was like it was just a brick.
Maybe it's just like an acronym for something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it was. I don't know. Wait, did you know what that was?
Oh yeah, my dad had one. I messed with it all the time.
I haven't heard of this.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
But I think my mom got me a flip too, like freshman year of college or something.
And then GoPro came out, and I was going to do all that crazy footage with it. I got one, and my footage didn't look anything like that. I filmed a wedding with like the B cam was a GoPro, so everything's like super fisheye, wide lens.
Yes. Every time I've ever looked at GoPro footage, I think, wow, that's zoomed out.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't really see anything.
And that's obviously a GoPro. Yeah, they don't. You don't remember it when you buy a GoPro. Like it doesn't come with extreme like skills of like snowboarding and like biking.
That was during my longboarding phase, and so we thought we were really good, but then we started filming ourselves on GoPro and realized, oh, we're not good at all. Like
Well, that's pretty slow.
There's footage of people like sliding down these hills, mountains, and stuff like that. We're
Yeah.
going in like parking garages and like kind of turning,
Pretty flat.
thinking this is lit, man.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Well, that's nice. They were supportive. Your parents?
My parents are happy with it. Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
I don't think they ever like had a specific direction they really wanted me to go. I mean, I'm young, so I think it was just like when I was probably 12 or 13, I started making random videos, and so they've always been like, "That's fun."
Yeah, that's what you like?
yeah,
Keep doing it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's probably the beauty of homeschooling too. It's just like there's not a finite amount of extracurriculars. It's kind of like unlimited, like
That would've
whatever
been
you're
so
into.
cool if I had enough time to develop a skill while being homeschooled or something like that.
Yes.
I think
Instead
for
of-
sure, if I wasn't homeschooled, I wouldn't like have quite the head start or just like
Yeah.
quite the
Yeah.
amount of like just fun projects under my belt. I feel like.
Yeah, not only a head start from like your own tinkering and playing around, figuring out what you like, but like work experience. Like you are ready to
yeah.
go. Like
Yeah.
with pretty much any project similar to this. On that note, here's a fun question. What's the biggest mistake, this is for either of you, biggest mistake you've made producing? Or we'll even say like editing, maybe just like biggest mistake ever, like from a production standpoint.
Oh, I'm trying to think.
There was one, we were recording a podcast and a drive filled up. And
Is this correct opinions?
Yeah, correct opinions. And we had no video for like 20 minutes of it. So I had to like put the logo just bounced around on the YouTube version of it. So that stunk.
I think
That's
maybe,
not awful though. That's not too bad.
Mine is worse, and like some ghosties know. I think it was when me and Brad were recording an episode, and we had like probably 15, 20 minutes worth of like. It was when we called random ghosties. They would like give their number and stuff, and we called like Rendell Weaver was about to go on a date, and like that was like awesome, and like all these people, and I think we had 20 minutes where I can't remember what had happened, but like I'd either stopped it or something.
It just didn't exist.
and it just didn't exist. There was
Yeah.
nothing. There wasn't even audio. That was a big bummer.
When you guys were on the Ghostrunners vacation and the delivery guy came over, was there something wrong with the recording? Because I was watching you guys panic or something like that in the video you showed. So I was trying to guess.
I think someone bumped the extension cord that had it all plugged in, and so we lost audio.
Gotcha.
And so we had the onboard camera audio and
Oh, I got a better like mistake. Sorry. My first wedding, I filmed the Nickelback one. Right before the kiss, my 8 gigabyte card ran out of space. So I ejected that card out of my T3i and grabbed one from my back pocket and shoved it in and did get the kiss, but like I missed like the words right before it.
That's some impressive reload time. though. Like they're about to kiss, and you just like it's like a tactical.
I mean, I was a patriot, or I am a patriot, so I had those quick hands with that. But yeah, I was able to reload pretty quick. And,
That's great.
but legs are sweating. That was terrifying.
That
Have you-
is.
Have you ever had where you push record after everything's
And it
done
starts recording?
Oh, that's the
I
worst
think
feeling.
I've had that at some point. Just like a small one. We recorded Friday the other day, and like,
Oh, yeah.
the intro. I get back, start recording. Oh well, or stop. Well, I just realized it wasn't recording, so we had to redo that. But stuff like that happens all the time. It's like, how am I not seeing that?
I did have the microphone unplugged one time for like a quick line that I think it was Trey got. And like, it was like, oh, can we just redo that like real quick? So nothing big. But for a couple weeks later, he's like, hey, is the microphone plugged in? He was a little uncertain off of that. Like, there's like one sentence that I messed up.
That gave him enough doubt. You know, I used to tell people, or I don't know, I feel like I wasn't saying this often, but maybe I told Rachel like at some point, like when my time had come close to an end with filming for Trey, just I remember one point mentioning to her, like, 4 years or however long it had been, like I've never like lost a file, never even like, because the microphone I use, you have to manually turn it on. Like it doesn't come on with the camera. That's an easy thing to forget doing. And it was like, it's kind of crazy. I was like showing her the setup. Like I've never like forgot anything. The very last shoot we ever did, the microphone was off for it. Had to redo it. It was kind of fun. So at time, I forgot, I was going to bring this up on the podcast anyway, and I forgot to write it down. So I'm glad you brought this up about missing the recording of the last Friday shoot. So Ryder, our editor, specifically edited something for me and just said, this is hilarious. So we'll put this on the screen as well. But there's a little context beforehand.
Okay. Yeah, you guys met Timon?
I did.
He's the best, as far as we know.
As far as we know.
We haven't met everybody, but, out of the people we know, he's the best. We have played 5.0 women before on this channel, but they were never this old. That's right. We are playing AARP members today because this is our best chance. Timon, as always, let's come back here and have you. I'll talk about the free paddle thing. Okay, we gotta do it again. All right, we're gonna do it one more time. Timon, it's not the best.
That's so funny.
This is funny right after the like setup. Like, oh yeah, you guys met Timon. Yeah, he's the best. Guys, I was not recording the intro.
That's
Do you have any pet peeves with the editing process of like you give something to Jake, but he's like, hey, can you adjust this? Is there something where you're like, oh, okay, I will?
I don't know. I think out of anyone, I think Jake is like really easy to work with, just because like I think it's great that you have experience in it, because
you
just understand stuff so much better. Like,
yeah. I like to think I know what's like an easy ask and what's a hard ask.
Did you have
something.
any pet peeves then? Like it's like, oh, I mean, I can, but that is.
It's
like changing the music. That's a cliche one.
Yeah,
that, like,
yes, the one everyone talks
like,
about. That there's a reason everyone talks about it, because it's.
I think I had one bride one time. I specifically asked her. Like I even like foresaw this being an issue. So I was like, every bride I work with, I want you to tell me the music in the wedding video. That way I don't have to go back and change it. Even then, she was like, I'm not liking the music now. I was like, well, everything is to that beat.
Yeah.
And that song was 5.5 minutes. And now you want a 3-minute song. So like there goes like, I don't know, 40% of your wedding video, just FYI, that's the worst.
So many Nickelback songs to choose from. So, like.
So that's funny you asked. The next question I was going to ask you anyway. Anna asked, what is the most tedious thing you've ever had to edit out of a podcast?
Oh. Do you have anything?
So edit out or just editing?
Yeah, I guess just editing. Yeah, whatever you want to answer.
The Shelter Kids series took forever to edit. That
Really?
one like took
all the interviews and everything.
Yeah, because we did cut them down a little bit,
Yeah.
kind of trim some of the fat, and like so those ones took a long time. The clips sometime could be tedious in that like it'll be a really tight 45-second clip, and then I get the tech. Jake knows where I'm going with this.
Yesterday was my bad. I forgot. Sorry, keep going.
Can I get a 61-second version? Because if you guys don't know, on TikTok, if you have over 60 seconds, monetization's a little bit better. So that is the goal, to post like a 61-second version on TikTok. And sometimes you're really grabbing at everything to make that 61 seconds.
I had forgot, because normally it's like, honestly, I'm the one creating those videos, and I forget about the TikTok version all the time. Yeah. I always forget about it. And so Trey is always the one reminding Derek, like, let's try to get a TikTok version of this. And
there's one that was like 38 seconds. So he's like, hey, can I get it to 61? I'm like, I have no clue where I'm going to pull out.
And I forgot just like a week or so ago, Trey was like, hey, just an update. TikTok's kind of changing their policies. They don't really pay out like they used to, so we don't need to worry about this as much. I completely forget about that. Derek sends a clip over yesterday. It's like already 52 seconds. Yeah, and for the first time I've ever thought to text, I'm like, hey, maybe there's 9 more seconds here. We get a TikTok version. And then Trey's like, well, we're not doing it anymore. I was like, oh, of course. I'm an idiot. I forgot the one time I've suggested it. And then Derek will always throw these like GIFs in of just like this guy like getting angry or like not knowing what to do, like this way, that way. So yeah, can you think, Timon, if you had any like, have we ever asked something that's like been really annoying or really tedious to?
I don't know.
Edit?
I think some things that are just tedious are like recently when we do the viral games, it's like 5 minutes of something, trying to cut it down to like 59 seconds. That's been interesting because it's like I just go through it. I have like I have a 1 minute 45 second.
All right, first
I have
pass.
a 1 minute 13 second. I'm just
Yeah.
like, then I'm just cutting out every millisecond of like pauses and stuff. I like that though. It's fun.
I always say videographers, I don't know if it's a kind of a chicken or the egg thing. I don't know if you need to be decisive to be a videographer, or being a videographer, or an editor, I should say, makes you more decisive. But I think they work very in tandem. I think like doing videography for as long as I did has made me a more decisive person. Because you have to be. You can't just be like, I don't know, I like it all. It's like, well, you have to decide. It has to be 59 seconds. With any project you're editing. I mean, a wedding, you got 40 gigs of footage. Like, all right, this is down to 6 minutes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, hey, glad you like working together, dude.
it's fun.
I'm glad it's relatively easy.
Adding bleeps sometimes.
Adding a lot of bleeps when you don't even need it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rachel said, not a question, but I had a completely different mental picture of Derek.
Again, I don't know if these are good or bad.
No, I'm sure they're all good.
It was really cool meeting the Ghosties out on tour with you and
that was always
Trey.
fun. We'd always hit the lobby together, and then we would just like go do our own thing for 20 minutes and come back and have our own stories.
That's fun.
Because towards the tail end of the
Giant
tour, Derek would go out there to film like fans for like promo videos and stuff. And yeah, he'd always come back, and we would like sometimes cross pollinate. He was like, "Did you see the drunk lady with the kid?" I'm like, "Yeah, I saw the drunk lady with the kid." He was like, "She was great on camera." I'm like, "She wasn't great one-on-one." So I'm glad you had fun. Dear Laura Jean said, "Is it hard describing your job to people?"
What was that?
Don't worry about that.
Not really. I think I just say like freelance videography and editing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have it kind of narrowed down okay. But yeah, I guess, well, kind of a little bit because I'm not doing it. That's not all I'm doing. I'm like, also just kind of trying to have time to be with, I don't know, like hang out with friends. This is one of my last summers, I feel like.
Totally.
I'm not necessarily trying to like really provide for myself.
Thanks.
So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of interesting to just be like, well, I'm not really always doing this, but I kind of, and then when people ask if they want me to do a job for them, I'm like, well, it's hard to decide. I'm like, I don't know how much time I should dedicate to it, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because we even had that conversation. Like, there's more stuff I could probably put on you, but I'm also like, I don't want you to feel like you need to say yes to this because this is summertime and it's awesome.
It's tough, but it also is like, it's tough because I also like doing that. Like, it's
not
a job
that much
that
of a
I
chore.
enjoy.
You're getting
So,
paid.
Yeah. But
Yeah, that's fair. Derek, do you have a tough time describing your job?
Yeah, I did do this shoot one time where one of the guys that was also working with me, he did BTS photos for Imagine Dragons. Do you remember this?
Dude, this is so great. Yeah, one of our most popular Gene Schwartz videos ever. It was like the worst types of guys around girls.
Yeah.
And we're all brainstorming, and I think we'd already written the video. Derek comes by to shoot it, and then he just like tosses out this little thing like, "Hey, I don't know if this helps or not, but I had a friend
Not
who."
a friend.
I had this enemy.
Sorry, you can explain it. But basically what Derek's about to say, we loved it so much that we made this my entire character for multiple videos. We made this my character because it was so good.
Yeah, this one guy, I was on a totally different shoot, had nothing to do with Imagine Dragons, but he, at one point in his life, did behind the scenes photos for Imagine Dragons. And he made sure anytime he introduced himself, he said, "Yeah, I did photos for Imagine Dragons one time." So I did not want to be like that, to be like, "Yeah, I do stuff with Trey and Jake," and stuff like that. I didn't want to name drop all the time. So that makes it kind of hard that I don't name drop it. Like, I do social media videos. Well, anyone I've ever seen? You ever seen Trey Kennedy? So yeah, this guy, he would always Imagine Dragons this, Imagine Dragons that. So
Yeah, we thought that was so funny. We're like, we don't even need to change the band. Like, that's already the perfect character. And so yeah, all these different characters. It was like, yeah, the worst types of guys around girls. And Brad was like the guy who's just like really loud. And I think Brad also played kind of like the creep of like, "Where's my hug?" And, you know, all these different, it's 8 different characters. And then my character was just the guy who has only done one cool thing his whole life or something. And it's like, "You guys know about the Imag Drags?" Or that's what he said. "I was backstage with the Imag Drags." Something like that. So yeah, thank you for providing that. I just want to take a quick patriotic break from our patriotic guest today to talk to you about, I'm getting a phone call. It's from Uncle Sam himself, and he's wanting to wish me a happy early Independence Day. Brad, when I say Independence Day, what comes to mind? Oh my gosh. He's so choked up, he can't even speak. Don't put the camera on him. Holy cow, just the tears streaming down his face. It's a special day for a lot of people. It's very special in the eyes and the hearts of GoodRanchers.com. They are as American as it gets. Every day, every year, more and more meat and groceries in general come into our grocery stores, and they're not from the United States, and you got weird hormones in them and antibiotics in them, and you don't know where it's coming from. Good Ranchers, all this stuff comes from here in America. They support ranchers, farmers, veterans. It's the best company to celebrate with 4th of July coming up. And so with all that in mind, we've got quite the offer for you. Maybe you weren't, the last couple weeks, we've been giving away free bacon for life. Maybe you're a real nincompoop and that didn't stand out to you for some reason. Don't worry. Brand new offer for you to take advantage of. This time around, for only a couple weeks, if you order with our promo code, GRKC, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get $100 off your order, and it's stretched out over like your 3-month subscription, but you're going to get $100 off plus free smoked bratwurst for a year. So the way they do this is you're going to get 2 packs of All American smoked bratwurst in every order for a year at no additional cost. So it comes out to over 100 free brats over the course of a year. So if that sounds like something you'd like in your house, in your mouth, and eventually in your hopefully American-made toilet, hey, give them a little look-see. Give the website a little meander. So just to recap, GoodRanchers.com is the best way to celebrate America on 4th of July. It's the best way to support local American ranchers and farmers. And with our promo code GRKC, you're going to get $100 off plus free smoked brats for a year. So make sure you find a subscription and a box that you like that suits your family. Use our promo code and enjoy all of those offers. We'd really appreciate it because we're so glad to have Good Ranchers back supporting this podcast. You guys are great. They emailed us this morning and said we've already received a flurry, I'm paraphrasing, but a flurry of orders from you guys. So thank you so much. Keep supporting them. Show them they made a good decision and get yourself some meat you're going to eat anyway. GoodRanchers.com, GRKC, back to the episode. We'll get to more questions later. I almost forgot about this. We got to do a shmores with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it made sense. I tried to double check. I don't think we've done a shmores of this topic before, but we got the producers in here, the videographers. We're going to do a shmores of electronics. Timon, I think you won the last shmores. I forget the topic now, but is it iconic duos?
Iconic duos, yeah.
Yeah. It's never as close as I feel like it should be. Why is Timon running away with this? What did he say?
Frodo and Sam got me a lot.
Yeah, that's
More
crazy.
Jam and jelly. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really thought I had that one in the bag. I just had all the classics. Chips and salsa.
Yeah. Okay,
All right, so you get to
shmores of electronics.
decide the order.
Okay, so I'm going to go me, Derek, Jake.
Okay, great. And we do this snake draft style. So
Okay,
I'll do 2, and then you'll always be in the middle. I guess it doesn't matter.
Cool. Okay.
Oliver, I forgot to tell you we're doing this, so you just keep clicking those fingers, buddy.
I will.
How's it going, by the way? How are we feeling?
Oh, we're doing good. We're doing
Pretty
good.
comfy?
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
right
yeah.
on.
Great. Okay, I'm going to start off. I'm going to use to my advantage. I think this is probably the obvious answer is a smartphone. I think that's
Yep.
electronic everyone uses, and it's very helpful. I'm going to just make sure I have that one.
Yeah, that's probably, this is a good s'mores to probably go first on. I feel like that's kind of in a tier of its own.
I was kind of glad I had that.
I had that one. We're all addicted to them. I try to justify my addiction to smartphone, being like, well, I'm doing it for work.
Oh, it's work.
So I need to know what's trending.
Yeah. What's the new editing trend going on?
Yeah, I need to see all of it. That's how I am too. I'm even like, I need to go on Facebook and scroll Facebook because I want to see what other people are doing for Facebook ads. That's work. I have to see that.
Yeah.
iPhone's a great, just one. It's the first one I wrote down. Smartphone, great pick.
Yeah.
Derek, what do you think?
Smartphones, and I have a bias toward iPhone, specifically iPhone, but smartphone. I'll just say smartphone.
I specifically said Sony cameras. That's what I shoot. And I thought I wanted to take it from you to have on my list.
Yeah.
Of that's my livelihood, the Sony camera.
Yep.
I film our skits with it, mood swings, even the comedy special. Part of it was filmed on my little camera.
I think that's all. Trey's videos have been shot on Sony for the last 6 years or so now.
Yeah.
So if we have any Trey Kennedy fans, it's because of the Sony camera.
That's the reason. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Wii as my first pick. I feel like when the Wii came out, it blew my brains out. That was pretty fun. That was like, it knows my arm.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was an aspect of like, I have to do this dance and it has no idea what my other extremities are doing. So it's like, I feel like I can just do this with just my right arm. But I feel like the Wii was like an all-time like, guys, we're starting to be in the future. This is it. This is like the first step of the future is here.
And they were more honest than like the Xbox Connect, which totally promised the world. Do you remember the Xbox Connect?
I had the Xbox Connect.
Really? Okay.
It was
promised
wild.
The world though, like you're gonna be able to talk to it like what we have AI now.
Yes.
But
you're right. It did it was like you won't need
friends.
Yeah. You won't need anything. You won't have a button ever. And everything will be voice, or your actions will like put on King of Queens. It'll all be motion detected. You will do it all with your body. You can record anything. Yeah, they did promise a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna go Wii, and then next up, I'm gonna go specifically the iPod Nano. It was my first iPod, and it was just like, to me, it's just like nostalgic and iconic for just like what it was. Like, I think that's when they first started coming in. I don't even know. I was gonna say in color, but there might have been an iPod video in there. I don't know exactly. The iPod Nano. It was awesome. I think 2 gigs, and that was plenty.
Nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
All right. I have the Bluetooth speaker from 2016 that everyone has. It has not had to replace. This little pill will go with you anywhere. It's reliable. It may have like micro USB instead of USB-C charging.
Yep.
But that speaker, you'll never have to replace.
Yep. That's great. Specifically, like the pill from 2016 Bluetooth speaker. That's a great electronic. And honestly, it gave me an idea for something I'm going to choose later. So thank you.
Okay.
Timon, what are your next two?
I'm going to go a MacBook laptop. I think that's what most of my life or like my work is. I'm just like, if I'm ever working, it's with this thing. So that's really important. And then I think the Nintendo DS.
Ooh,
that was,
yeah.
Like we never had any kind of like really gaming console growing up.
Yeah.
Never had like a TV or anything. So it was very much like my gaming experience was a Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
So and it was awesome.
That's cool. That was your entire 100% of video games for you.
Pretty much.
The DS.
Yeah, for a long time. Yeah.
That's fun. Oliver, what kind of video games you rocking at your house?
DS. I don't know. Now we have like no consoles, but for sure the Wii.
You did have the Wii back in the day?
Yeah, we did have the Wii. That
You
was
guys had a Switch for a while, right?
We did have a Switch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know where it went.
Switches are nice.
Yeah.
Switch houses. Okay, that's fun.
Yeah.
I got the Nest thermostat. So I don't have to get up to change the temperature from 75 that my wife sets it to every time. Like right now, if she's at home working, I can bring a cooler. And
I do like that. I changed our thermostat. It's not that brand, but in here, I was getting hot in here. Change it.
There you go.
It's nice.
So I don't want to get like all Kevin Malone, but like 69 is the perfect temperature to set the house at.
That's how you prefer it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I do like that for a car temperature. I feel like that is a good go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm at 70 in the car, but in our house, like pretty much year round, it's like at 73-ish or so. We're pretty cold people in general. And if like Trey's house, if he had it his way, it'd be at 64.
Yeah.
Like all the time. It's crazy. Trey is always hot. Okay, fun picks. Those are great. We got a lot of nostalgia in here. All right, my last two. I'm going to go any brand. I don't care what it is. I'm talking about the invention of the backup camera. I feel like we take it for granted. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. You get a backup camera. You get a rental car. It's got a backup camera. You're like, this is sweet.
Yeah.
The rental car I had in, and this isn't the same thing, so it doesn't count, but the rental car we had in Portugal had like a front camera. Whenever you would get close to things, it would pop up like what the front of your car looks like to know if you're getting close to a curb or something. That was nice. Anyway, but the backup camera, you really appreciate it when you're driving a food truck and you don't have a backup camera and you go, wow, that would be nice if I knew where I'm at in the world right now. So
yeah,
I'm going to go backup camera.
That's good.
And then my last pick is going to be FM transmitters. So I had nothing but junk cars pretty much my whole life. And they never had any kind of like, I guess my first car had a cassette. So I would play this cassette that had an aux to it. So you'd put the cassette in and then plug it in your phone, and that was pretty good. But then most of my life, I had like early 2000s cars that didn't have an aux cord, but didn't have a cassette player. They only had a CD player. So there was really no workaround. They didn't have Bluetooth, obviously. The workaround to do this was you plug in this FM transmitter to your like cigarette lighter thing. Have you guys used these devices? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
100%.
I have one
Okay,
in
yeah.
my van right now.
Yes, they
Really?
work amazing.
Yeah.
I never had to replace it.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, for the people not listening who don't know, you plug it into your cigarette lighter, and what you do, your phone connects to this transmitter via Bluetooth, and then the transmitter connects to the radio by magic. I think.
You just find like an empty station, I think, or like an empty.
Yeah, some like
something that's
88.1 or something.
How is this like FCC like allowed? Because they have rules. And, like,
Yeah, I don't know how it's allowed. You can just like take over a station.
Occasionally,
it's just in the air and it's mine now.
Occasionally, I've driven like next to someone and like gotten a
No
little
way.
Taste,
A little
of their
taste.
music. It's kind of fun.
Like, oh, I get a little. Oh, they must be homeschoolers. Listen to Billie Eilish. That's so awesome. But I mean, I bought one for like $20 on Amazon.
Yeah,
and I used it for 5 years and never had to replace it. It worked phenomenally. Unless you go road trip, then you get out of market. We got to find a new radio station now that I'm in Springfield or something.
I don't think so. I think that I'm fairly sure. I might not know how this works, but I think
You never
it's
left
like
town.
somehow emitting a signal that like your van is just or your car is just connected to. I think.
I feel like I would go somewhere else and then all of a sudden I would get their radio station.
Oh, actually, that makes sense. So
Like,
it's
get overpowered.
like it's not empty there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, those little suckers were awesome. It truly just like worked perfect forever.
Yeah.
I had an honorable mention.
great pick.
I already listed all mine, right? Or-
Wait, no, I think we go back around, right? Or no, that was it.
No, there's you. You did your last two.
You have one more left and you have one more left.
I have.
Yeah, because you started off
I have
with
one more
one. You
left.
did- okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so I'm kind of piggybacking off of it a little bit. The skiff-proof portable CD player. So like in middle school, I had a little emo phase where like when you're sitting in the back of the bus, you don't want your Good Charlotte or Blink 182
Yeah.
getting disturbed by the bouncing of the bus.
Or you don't want your Disturbed getting disturbed if that's who you're listening to. And so, yeah, you're just. What kind of headphones are you rocking with the CD player?
Just some cheap ones that like went over the ear foam.
Do you remember those that had the slits for the top of your ears to go through? Like mine had like they went on your ears, but then the rest of the, there was like plastic that went behind. So they would like, I don't know how to describe
like
it.
an
But
elf or something.
yes, the top of my ears like stuck out of it. That's what I was rocking.
That's funny.
Skip proof. That's great.
Yeah. So I have one more.
Yeah, I think it's your last pick.
Ooh, okay. I'm trying to decide. I think I'm gonna go refrigerator.
Oh, that's
think-
great.
That's it. It's very useful and pretty necessary. So I like a good refrigerator.
Yes, it is. I got the Kansas Agricultural Department of Health coming by in about 30 minutes to check out my refrigerators on the food truck. So I'm gonna be real thankful for him if she approves me here soon. All right, that's fun. Oliver, do you have anything that you came to mind as you were listening to this? Any?
I'm still stuck on the Wii. I don't know.
All I can think about is the
I just
Wii.
all like it. No, yeah. That's good.
I had some honorable mentions, and then I realized, I think that's software. That's not an electronics. Because I got down a rabbit hole like GPS. Oh my gosh, Google Earth. Oh, what's better than Google Earth? LimeWire. I was like, this is all software. I don't think this is electronic.
I had one similar. I don't know if it's the 5G towers. I had because obviously the speed's nice, but I really dove into the conspiracies for a good couple months.
Yes.
And then the people tearing down the 5G towers.
So it's like what they give us and also what they give other people.
The content that came from the 5G towers was great.
Yeah.
But
Any other honorable mentions?
the electric keypad on my gun safe. It keeps my family safe while I'm doing Patriot. And then AirPods. I've lost 3 pairs.
Oh.
I have AirPods on there.
I forgot
I
about
was trying to decide
AirPods.
between AirPods and refrigerator.
Yeah.
So
Have you guys every now and then I'll think like maybe I should like get some like cool, like really nice headphones. But then you put your AirPods in, you're like, this is pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, like I don't really need better quality than this.
Have you done the nodding yet with it? The yes or no? Have you seen the update where instead
What is
of saying yes or no, you can move your head up and down?
To like reply to a text?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's got like motion control now or something.
kind of
I've seen that like a adaptive, like we know if you're in a conversation, we'll mute your music or whatever. But I'll just take it out or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't trust it. So my honorable mentions, I put flat screen TV when that came out. That rocked my world.
Yeah.
I put blank CD. That was really fun to be able to make your own mixes with a blank CD.
Did you ever burn a CD?
no, I don't think so.
No.
Did you ever burn a VHS? My dad would get me like blank VHS tapes, and then when something came on TV that you want to record, and that's how we got all of our movies. And then you write on there, like, this is Tommy Boy, this is Dumb and Dumber, or whatever. I mean, we had every comedy I ever watched was from a blank VHS, I feel like. My last two honorable mentions were, I don't know if this counts or not, Top Golf. Is that an electronic? Just like, like it seems like one just kind of cool electronic thing going on.
Yeah.
Lightning and it's electronic. I mean,
Storms. Magnets. No. And then my last one was just the Game Boy, similar to the DS, but it was like my version of that. Just that's how I played everything. So
I had a washing machine.
Okay, yeah, more appliance based.
Line, and then just like camera. I didn't have Sony camera, but
yeah,
electric toothbrush.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. We were actually just talking about that recently. Tom and I, we tried the electric toothbrush and we get tickled by it. We can't put up with it.
Yeah.
Me and my wife, we have our two sound like chainsaws. So like neither one is like sleeping through the other one brushing their teeth.
They're just that loud.
That's funny.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll get to just a few more questions. Does Derek sing too?
Not even at all. Like
yeah, same. That's fun. Someone said, how long have we been going? Which is an inside joke because Trey asks that every single episode, and people have started to give him a hard time about it. Like, how long have we been doing this? Let's see. I'm trying to find very early on. I mean, some of the first questions were all some weird. Yeah, okay. So Ross Ferens, he's hilarious. Immediately, as soon as I posted this story, he goes, Derek, chemtrails. What's going on? So they want to hear some conspiracies from you. Specifically, let's start with the chemtrails. So I'll give you a little background. I don't know if this is what he's referring to, but probably just a couple weeks ago on the podcast, Brad was kind of like, being like, I mean, what is some of this stuff behind the airplanes? And I was like, it's science. It's like really hot air being produced and like really cold air really up high. And Brad was like, I don't know. I don't know.
The whole like being able to make it rain with the planes going through and putting the salt.
They say that it's happening like Dubai, right?
Yeah, so they actually are doing it. And like, it's not a conspiracy. They are making it rain. And all of a sudden, like...
Here we go, guys. This is what you wanted.
They are making it rain in Utah, who had a crazy drought, but they've been working on sending the planes up with these things that shoot out the salt that makes the water heavier, makes it fall. That was a conspiracy 10 years ago.
Ooh.
That was... And now they're making it mainstream that like, hey, that's an actual thing. So
go on, keep going.
Hey,
it was a conspiracy 10 years ago, and now it's like they're gaslighting us, being like, "No, we've always done this. It's just science." Like, you idiots! Like, of course we can make it rain. No, we are crazy tinfoil people for saying you can make it rain. So the chemtrail stuff, I haven't dove in too much. Like, you know, what are they exactly? Are they doing? But the weather thing, real. And then growing up, did you ever watch? Independence Day, the movie, like 1994.
No.
They talk about going to Area 51 because Area 51 wasn't a thing. And that was a conspiracy if you believed that even that base existed.
Interesting.
And then a couple years ago, people were going to storm Area 51. So, I don't know.
Yeah. So what's next?
Conspiracies
what's next?
Yeah, what's next? Good
Which one will get proven next?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think a lot of the 2020 stuff is going to come out soon. Not the political stuff, well, kind of political, but...
Well, some of that is, right? I mean, like it was
leak.
Yeah,
that was, you weren't allowed to say it at all.
I'm even nervous to say it now, but I think it's proven, right? Like COVID, I'm nervous to say it, but it was made in a lab, right?
Once Jon Stewart said it, we were all allowed to say it.
Yeah,
that's how that kind of turned out. But before he said it on Colbert, we weren't allowed to talk about the.
Yeah, you get like deplatformed for saying stuff like that. Like everything
during a crazy pandemic. Why can't you question where did this come from? You're like, nope, that's So
interesting.
I don't have any strong opinions on the chemtrails. Moral of the story. I know I got off in Area 51, COVID, and weather. Maybe, but
remind me, what is the chemtrails theory? Like, what is that supposed to be? I don't even know.
If you see like a southwest plane high in the sky, and there's just like trails of like what looks like small clouds behind it or something. Yeah. I think the most common theory is like it's a sedative, and they're trying to keep the the New World Order. They keep us tranquilized down here or something like that.
The amount of people that would have to be involved with that is crazy. Like, you think
it's
the
a
guy
Southwest flight,
the maintenance guy has to know about it too.
It's like the NFL being rigged or something.
Yeah, the amount of people all keeping quiet is very impressive, and all going along with the script. That's good job, guys. I forgot how fired up I got about that last year.
That was so funny.
That got me so mad. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the chemtrails theory. I know there's probably some people even more into it. Like, no, that's not. That's what most people believe, but I believe this. So.
I'm getting to be educated. Red pill me on the chemtrails a little bit if you want to. But, no strong opinions yet.
Yeah.
This one's from Emily Murray, kind of switching gears. But how is Derek and his family after their crash? I've been thinking about his family.
That's very nice. So I actually messaged you. I was like, hey, is something happened? Because all of a sudden I got like 50 Instagram followers like in a matter of a couple minminutes.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out for a while. I was like, no, dude, I think you just been crushing it.
And then if you look at my Instagram, it's just posted to my family. So I don't know. Yeah, appreciate the ghosties following. But I saw that on your guys' Facebook page, someone found out about the accident. So we were visiting Utah. It was the first full day we were there. We were about to go in the mountains. And we were going through an intersection. And this guy was on his phone. He admitted to be on his phone, ran a red light, and T-boned us. So we had a couple days in the hospital. My wife had broken ribs, broken pelvic bone, broken hip, punctured lungs, partial collapse. So it was a rough vacation. We're still like working our way through with insurance. That's been a nightmare of like.
I know. I feel like every time I see Derek, I'm like, dude, how's Becca? And then he's like, Becca's doing a little better. But insurance is driving me up the wall.
I should always start with the health of my wife. She is doing a little bit better. She's able to walk. She gets tired, but yeah, like it's crazy that like even if someone's insured, like, and it's not your fault, you still don't end up not even ahead, but you still don't end up at par or whatever once the accident's over. Like we're gonna still pay money out of our pocket. Like
it's crazy that you have to pay anything.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you were telling me that like. They started to tell you that, like, hey, this guy's saying that it's your fault now.
Yes.
And you're going, what in the world? No way.
Yeah.
And then you've reread the email and like, oh, no, he says it's my fault.
The other driver put a claim on our insurance, which we were in a rental car, so he shouldn't know who our insurance is. Don't know how he found it. Someone like leaked our information. Conspiracy thing on that.
Chemtrails.
Yeah, chemtrails. But he made a claim, and then so our insurance is calling like, hey, he's saying like you guys are at fault for the accident. We're like panicking, be like, no, it was clearly he ran the red. He admitted to the cop that he was on his phone. And so the lady's like, no, he said you guys ran a red, so we need to get an official statement from you. And then Becca's like, can you actually read back word for word what he said? And she just like misinterpreted it. He said, I ran the red and hit them, but I'm still going to make a claim on their insurance. So if anyone's an insurance expert, like
reach out to Derek.
Yeah, please, like this is crazy.
Hopefully you could figure out a way where you don't have to pay anything. I think you definitely shouldn't. You have hospital bills. You have
our vacation was ruined. Like
but
we're doing fine. A lot of like people from our church, people on our street, they brought us meals every night. And
how were some of those meals?
I won't eat lasagna for another like 4 years. Should I reveal on this podcast?
Yeah, it'll be fun.
There was one couple that was very nice and ordered us Old Chicago food, and they know I eat like a 12-year-old. We got that food, and all of a sudden, like all the adults got very sick that night.
Yeah, you and Becca both, had like a full day's worth of food poisoning or something, right?
Food poisoning. I didn't have an appetite for a whole week. It was Trey and Katie that did get us that meal. I haven't revealed to them that like, hey, I really appreciate it, but we did get sick. Very, very nice, the thought, but we destroyed us for a good week.
Yeah, it's one of those things is like...
It's not their fault.
Yeah, it's not their fault, but it's also still like, you probably don't need to tell them. They can't change it. All they can do is feel bad. But when you told me that, I was like, that's pretty funny.
I like whispered it to you, Jake. I got food poisoning.
Don't ever take food from Trey and Katie. They do something to the food.
Chemtrails.
They put something in it.
That's funny.
Good deal. All right, I think that's an episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. This one was really fun. This was Rachel's idea, by the way. So shout out Rachel for bringing everybody together.
Great.
So yeah, anything you want to say, anything you want to plug, or we can also talk about if there's one thing you want to ask Derek, ask Timon, anything you had planned on talking about and we hadn't got to talk about. Now is your opportunity. Oliver, you had your hand up. What's going on?
No, I'm good. We talked.
Stop talking to me, dude. I'm thinking about the Wii still, dude.
Oh my goodness.
How did that Wii remote work? How did it know? Wii Fitness. That was crazy.
No, the community you guys have here is awesome. Like I generally love the Facebook page. I'm constantly checking it. And obviously you guys were very nice when we got in the accident and seeing how you can help. So love the community you guys created here. It's genuinely cool. So,
yeah. Thanks, dude. And I think everyone is being nice about your face in a very neutral way. Whoa, Derek's face. Interpret it however you want.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I think this made me realize like it kind of worked out well. I didn't have to get narrowed down from a bunch of people. I just like
Oh, to be hired here?
I think it's like
you just reached
kind
out.
of appreciating like, oh, that was like pretty easy. But like thank you for hiring me.
What would you do if Jake or Brad farted?
Let out a giggle, I think. And then
Little giggle.
I think they'd acknowledge it. So yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. We keep it pretty clean. It's a pretty small room. I think out of respect,
Yeah.
it's like, I'm not afraid to fart in front of Brad, but it's like, it's pretty small in here. It's probably for the best that we don't. So,
Yeah.
And honestly, if we did fart, Rachel would smell it from the back bathroom and she would
She's
text me
kind
and
of
go,
a Rottweiler. In that sense.
what was that? Yeah, she's amazing with her nose. Cool. Well, yeah, thanks for joining. I know you each had to drive 30 minutes probably to get here. But yeah, this is fun.
Yeah.
And honestly, very easy to do. I think when I told someone else I was doing this, they're like, it's going to be tough to fill time. I mean, these guys are normally behind the camera. I was like, it'll be fine. Know these guys forever. So cool. Well, check each of these guys out. I mean, Ghosties, you're already so supportive anyway, but if you're into insurance, give Derek a follow. And if you want to see Timon, do his high school graduation at some point, I'm sure he'll post that.
Nazi trailer.
Nazi trailer. Yeah, check it out. Check out Major Roasters, Good Ranchers, and we'll see you guys next Monday. Back to our regular schedule. So thank you guys.
Ghostrunners podcast. Everybody